Portland. Crime, especially reported assault, has increased in the area in and around the camp. This is in addition to the health and sanitation issues that the camp's close quarters have brought about. Occupy has had considerable time to share its movement's message with the public, but has lost control of the camps it created. The cost to the larger community is rapidly increasing. Now the city of Portland finds itself at a turning point. The city will soon temporarily close Lounsdale and Chapman Squares to the public. To put an end to safety, health, and crime problems, and to repair the park land. When the city reopens the park, the city will enforce all park and criminal laws in the squares and the sidewalks, and the park land will be available for large, organized speech events by permit. At 12:01 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th, all persons of property in Lounsdale and Chapman Squares will again be subject to enforcement of all laws, including the laws against being in a park after midnight, and erecting structures in a park. On or after November 13th, by authority of Portland City Code, the city will close Lounsdale and Chapman Squares for repair and to remediate any remaining safety, health, and crime problems. Portland police are carefully preparing for this closure and share my goal for an orderly and peaceful closure to the camp. I want to make it clear that this action is not an action against the Occupy Portland movement. Wait for it. In fact, the Occupy Portland movement has highlighted the challenges our community, like many across the country, is facing with homelessness. So many in our community are without a safe place to call home. Despite fiscal challenges, the city has continued to invest in long-term solutions to end homelessness. Commissioner Fish and I will be working closely with our dedicated network of service providers to make sure everyone at the camp is aware of the resources that are available. Experienced outreach workers will be reaching out to the homeless people at the camp to help them access existing resources in our community, like health care, emergency shelter, permanent housing placement assistance, and short-term needs. I have said from the beginning that I believe the Occupy movement would have to evolve in order to realize its full potential. It is my sincere hope that the movement, with its focus on widespread economic inequality, will flourish in its next phase. A phase where we can focus all of our energies on economic and social justice, not on porta potties and tents. I believe Occupy Portland can lead the nation in this next phase of the Occupy movement, and I personally look forward to working with participants toward their broader goals. I also want to extend my thanks to Occupy Portland participants who, via understand. We need to come together today, and we need to actively create solutions. There is no time for turning on one another right now. I also want everyone here to understand that the one thing that is going to divide us in this very crucial moment, more than anything, is fear. Leave your fear out there on the street. In here, we're operating without it. So we do need to come together in a way to strategize and build solution-oriented responses. Now, for those of you who don't know, last night at the General Assembly, we passed the Spokes Council model. The Spokes Council model will be replacing the General Assembly 3 nights a week, starting tomorrow night. It is a model in which working groups, committees, caucuses, and tribes can come together and have their voices equally heard, and we can make decisions about camp by the people that are participating in camp. It's a very opportune time for us to have that last meeting. I'm going to wait for 1 second while the siren passes. Okay. The Spokes Council model that's being held for the first time tomorrow night is a wonderful example that I hope will be utilized to make decisions based on the solutions that we can collectively come up with today. So we have an idea as the volunteer facilitators for this emergency General Assembly that we want to put out there for how this conversation should go. And then we'll ask you if you're okay with that. If not, we can go in a different direction. Okay? Okay. We think that because tensions are high, because people are becoming afraid, because this is a very critical moment where we just got this very pertinent information about the city and their tactics that they are going to employ towards us, that this conversation should be one where we can have as many voices heard that have ideas about what should be done with camp, what camp's tactical approach should be to this information, and we want to make this space available to those who want to generate solution-oriented ideas. The idea behind this conversation being that after we are done here, anyone who has a solution that they want to work on can spend the rest of the day researching it, finding affinity groups that want to bring the proposal to the General Assembly tonight, and then tonight, when we have probably one of the largest General Assemblies we've ever had, we can come together and really find out what proposals and solutions camp can get behind. The
your role. And your information. I would like to suggest. That it's now time to transition. To our normal GA model. Thank you.
So, I think that what Jimmy is speaking to is a very important point of process. We have discussed it many times at General Assemblies that when an emergency arises, we would revert to the consent upon General Assembly model. The reason that we were suggesting having the discussion space here is so that actual proposal making and working through and decision making can happen at the regular General Assembly time when we can have a more diverse and comprehensive General Assembly with people who are already planning on attending at the regular 7 o'clock time.
If you're fucking doing